Good morning, friends. It's Bob Branch bringing you another Daily Devo. We are still talking about being partners with God. We are, with that in mind, in day 18 of our 21-day generosity challenge. So we're coming toward an end of that. My hope and my prayer is that this is becoming more and more a part of you, that this is becoming more and more naturally supernatural to you and to me, that as we look for opportunities to be generous, and God shows us these things, we change. We become givers rather than takers. We become, instead of on the take, we become on the give. Today, I want to talk to you about being God's coworkers in your family. And that is that we want to look out in the marketplace, we want to look at school, we want to look in the neighborhood, we want to look all these other places for opportunities and divine appointments. But I believe that God is right underneath your and my noses, presenting us with divine appointments, even in our own households, all the time, incessantly. It's happening right and left all the time. And again, we need to ask, look, notice, and join God in work that He's doing. He's doing that in everyone in your family, everyone. He's not doing that just in some and just leaving other people out. He is constantly at work in all of this. He is doing all of the lifting and calling you and I into the work. And so what might that look like? That God gives you all kinds of divine appointments in your family. And just to have some imagination on this, it might mean that the Holy Spirit just says, hey, sit with them, sit with your kid, sit with dad, sit with your son, sit with your daughter. Just sit. Lay down on the ground and just color with them. I mean, for one, I think that that's incredibly fun. But some of you would be like, what do you mean? That's terribly unproductive. And for those of you that have a high productivity type of an ethic in your world, I want to tell you that this has nothing to do with being productive. This has to do with being present. Being productive and being present, two very, very different things. And being present with your kids is the investment that actually has this long-term impact, and they become productive citizens because they've had a present dad, they've had a present mom. So with this, it might mean that you just need to sit with your kids. Maybe it might mean that you need to go wrestle with them, especially that more tactile kids that you just might have a sense, and they just might look at you with that look like that goofy look that sometimes little boys look at their dads, and it's like, oh, you just want to be tied in a knot, and you grab them and you tie them in a knot, and they're like, and they're just laughing and laughing, and they kick you and they almost put a tooth out and all these different things. And mom says, oh, somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt. You've heard this before, and a lot of times somebody does get hurt. I have to say that, but I want to tell you that investment of tickling, that tickle war and everything, those things are unforgettable for a kid. My dad laid all over me. He tickled me, had his hands all over me. It was meaningful touch. It was hilarious. It was so much fun. I remember those times. Sometimes with your family, the Holy Spirit's going to say, and this is a divine appointment as well. All these things are potential divine appointments. They just don't look like it. We just don't tend to see it this way. That the Lord would say, I just notice her. Notice her. Especially for your daughters, but your sons need this too. All of us need to be noticed. We need to be noticed by these people that bore us, that love us. Don't bore us like, oh, this is such a honor. We were born to them. Be present. There'll be times when you come home from work and you feel like, I'm just dog tired. I just want to put my feet up and binge watch something. And the idea will just scoot through you, not as a guilt thing, not as an obligation, but just be present. Be present at the dinner table. Be, and if you think, maybe this is just a waste of time, it's like, actually, no time that you spend on your children is a waste. It's just not a waste. So give your time to your children, affirm them. And in your family, with your family members, be generous with your affirmation. If you see something, catch them doing it right, just say, you did great with that. And be generous with your words and say it. And you might think, well, Bob, I'm not verbal like you are. It's like, but they need your words. They need you to put to flight. They need you to put words to that affirmation, because that is going to hit the target in their soul. It's going to make an investment that's going to yield really good dividends later on. Give them your affirmation. Give them your touch. Put your hands all over them. It's one of the things, I made so many mistakes with my kids, kind of crazy. It's remarkable that they turned out as good as they did. The way that I always say it is, the Lord is good and I married well. But the one thing I felt like that I had to give was I had to give a lot of affection. I could give a lot of affection, that I put my hands on them. I wrestled with them. I laid with them. I laid on top of them. I just laid all over them. And so our family, sometimes when we're praying for each other, we'll just lay like a pile of puppies because we're just used to having that kind of positive physical contact. But that touch is really important. Even if you're not a toucher, your kids need touch. Your family needs touch. Wrestle with them. Lastly, in this whole thing, you've heard me talk the story before. I was in this living room, sitting practically in the place where I am right now. I was really frustrated with my youngest daughter. She was in high school. She didn't like me. I represented the Lord. She wasn't walking with God at that point in time. And she was just hard to love. And I was praying, I was sitting here and I was praying and I said, Lord, what do I do? I don't even know what to do. I don't even know if I want to do anything about this. I'm kind of out of desire. I'm tired. I'm dog tired on this. And she just kind of warned me out. And the Lord said, move in her direction. In this place, move in her direction. Wait, what? Move in her direction. It was a very simple, those 4 words, move in her direction. And about 5 minutes later, she walked in the door right over there. And I just got up and I said, hey, how you doing? And I just got up and I just gave her a quick sidewinder hug. And, she just moved on the house, said, yeah, whatever, and walked in. And every time that she walked into my world or I walked into hers, I noticed her. I just looked at her in the eyes. I affirmed her. I just moved in her direction. It was very subtle. I wasn't doing this like, this is not a massive battle plan. This was just very subtle, small steps into the life of my daughter that I love so much, but didn't know how to love. And over about a 3-4 month period of time, she began to thaw. And I think in me, I started to thaw too, because I had gotten cold. It became winter, in my heart as well. And we both started to thaw as I moved toward her. And at different points in time, she'd get really irritated. She's like, what are you doing? Why is it that every time I walk into the room, you walk toward me? And I'm just like, I just want you to know that I care about you. And didn't make any big thing of that. And the great thaw happened. And now I enjoy a great relationship with her. We have walked some really good times. It doesn't mean that we don't have any conflict. We do have conflict, but we know that we love each other. And that thaw happened because I moved in her direction. And I believe that the Spirit will give us little divine appointments to move in the direction of the people that we love, the people that need us to move in their direction in order to have our love secure them and be the anchor that God is providing for them in this unstable world. Divine appointments in your family. Look, ask, look, notice, join. Ask, look, notice, join. That's the word for today. Meditate on that and participate in that in whatever the way that the Lord calls you to and the Lord makes available to you. But move in their direction. All over the place. This works all over the place. Literally, it does. It's that simple. I love you. I'm praying for you. So glad that you joined me today. Until next time.